Did you play Super Mario Brothers? Did you think it was amazing? Well, how would you like a sequel? But what about a sequel where everything is completely different? Like, totally different. Except for, I guess, the jumping. But you don't even jump on things to kill them. Well, then you're in luck, because here comes Super Mario 2. Sure, it's technically a reskin of Doki Doki Panic, but whatever. Throw stuff. Pick up stuff. Transport yourself to secret opposite worlds with a potion. Collect cherries for no apparent reason. And enjoy a bunch of brand new enemies never seen before or ever again in what is technically a weird dream Mario's having. Whatever, you get to pick characters, which is awesome, and the gameplay is wildly different and fun. So grab your controller and get ready to rip up some plants and throw bombs and turnips at your enemies. All so you can defeat the evil toad named Wart?
Retro Recall.
Welcome back to Retro Recall, the show with more nostalgia than the number of drugs the Doki Doki Panic devs were on. What are we talking about today, John?
All right, today we're doing the sequel to the most famous game of all time. But a sequel that just makes no sense. Super Mario 2.
It's American Super Mario 2, because a lot of you are probably like, which one are you doing? The Japanese one or the American one?
We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, the Doki Doki Panic remake. We'll get into it.
Mario 2. So we're going to talk about what the game is, why it was so confusing for young John, how weirdly hard it is, by the way, and what it's like playing again in 2026.
Yes.
That's just kind of the best way to go through it.
Man, we've been going through Mario. We started with Mario last week, and we're moving through all the different Mario titles if you're just tuning into this one. So go back and listen to the last one, because it's kind of a series we're doing. But let's get into it. Let's go back in time to the 80s.
Yes. So released in North America on October 9th of 1988. And no surprise, this is a huge hit. It was a top-selling game in the US for 4 straight months, 3.5 million copies by 1990. And eventually it sells about 7.5 million copies. Mm-hmm. It still holds as Nintendo's 4th highest selling game of all time.
That's amazing.
And we'll talk a bit more about what it really is in a second, because it's not really a Super Mario game.
It is a little bit different. But hey, I remember I can picture in my mind the video rental store we went to and seeing the poster for Mario 2 on the side of the desk where the register was before the game launched, and getting super excited about it, because I was like, wow, look, Mario's doing cool new stuff with the new game. And then this came out and I was like, what? But we'll get into all of that. But like, take me back. We got to talk about the music and the movies first.
This is, man, 1988. The 80s are a rough time for some of this stuff. So the number one song, we're back to John has no idea what this is. A Groovy Kind of Love by Phil Collins.
Yeah, it was another one of his chill out. We've talked about Phil Collins in the past.
Phil Collins could walk up to me on the street and I wouldn't know who he is.
You have no idea. Man, he is one of the biggest singer-songwriters of all time.
I recognize that. I could look at
you are just not into pop music.
No clue. I have no clue who this is. I will say a month before, though, we get what's almost a sad thing for metal fans. It's the And Justice for All by Metallica, which is the end of Metallica's thrash metal era. It's not even, honestly, it's Master of Puppets was a lot better. It's kind of like, but the What's His Nuts dies not that long after this, and we start the descent into what is
other Metallica.
Yeah, but we do later get South of Heaven by Slayer, so that's cool.
There you go.
Slayer. Now, what I will say is, last week, I got to get really excited about a movie, and it was cool because it was Commando. And this week, I don't, because, oh my God, these films were bad. Like, usually when we do this, I can get 1 to 2 films. I have all garbage. And not even funny garbage. Not like, oh, hey, remember that Mortal Kombat sequel that was terrible? Right. These are just pure, not enjoyable to see. We've got Alien Nation. Don't remember that? That's because it was horrible. It was James Caan, Manny Patinkin, Brian Thompson, in a movie about aliens who live among humans. That's also a buddy cop film. I didn't know what this was. I saw a picture of it. Didn't draw memory, had to go to YouTube to see it, and went, Oh, still barely. I'm barely aware of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever seen it, but I do remember being kind of creeped out at like 9 years old by the weird alien looking thing.
Yeah.
In the trailer, and I was just like, yeah.
What is this? Then you have The Accused, which is a crime drama about a gang rape. So not really an uplifting story there.
Not super into that. Yeah.
And then we get Gorillas in the Mist, which is decently good film, but also, I mean, these are 3 very depressing films back to back.
Yeah.
But the most embarrassing one is we have a movie called Punchline. Punchline is Tom Hanks and Sally Fields, who both have like basically career disruptions and decide to make it as stand-up comics. So it's Tom Hanks, Sally Fields, stand-up comics, and it's not funny.
I have no recollection of this at all.
Yeah, this one I'm aware of this one because I'm a very big Tom Hanks fan. I think he's very charming. So usually in films he's good. So and Sally Fields is also very charming. She's very enjoyable. So I've actually seen a portion of this movie and stopped watching it because it just sucked.
You were like, that's not Tom Hanks. I'm out.
How is Tom Hanks not funny? Like, all right, he wasn't funny in Forrest Gump, obviously, but like, how is he in a movie where he's supposed to be funny, not funny? Right. It was awful. So saying,
all right.
Woof. All right, but let's do Super Mario 2. Let's do it. Let's get it. So let's start off with the real problem we have. So it's not Super Mario 2. And the real problem, real problem we have is, what do you do when you want to follow up the greatest video game of all time? Well, simple. If you're a very, very lazy person, which is what apparently they were in Japan, you just make an identical copy of the first game, but make it light years harder for no reason.
The justification I've heard isn't so much that they were being lazy, but they were trying to, they weren't 100% sure yet how the audience would react to too many changes. And they also didn't have what they thought was the development time to develop a completely different new game. So they rushed out a sequel, which was just harder levels.
Fantastic excuses for
and it's great excuses.
I don't want to put an effort in.
Like, but also, I'm not in Japan. I'm not in Japan in the mid 80s going, this is what I expect from a video game. And supposedly it did pretty well over there. So
sure. I don't know. It's just, that's exactly what you'd say if you made the exact same meal 5 nights in a row for your spouse. And it's like, well, I wasn't sure how you'd react if I tried something different. No, you just wanted to make the exact same thing 5 days in a row. That's what this was. And so that's what this game is. The Lost Levels is light years hard, though. So if you guys have never experienced it, little side note, go try it. You can find Lost Levels because thanks to emulators, it's very easy to find these days. It is hard.
It is tough. It is tough. Yeah. No. It's probably a good reason that they didn't release that in the United States.
They knew because
they were right.
Because Americans like video games that are fun, enjoyable, and playable. And it would have killed Mario.
Right. Also, by the later side of the 80s, the games were developing into something that was less coin-op based and less difficulty and more about replayability and just enjoying the experience. So I think they were at least right about the American audience on that. Now, the question is, how did we get this Super Mario 2, which I'm sure you're going to go into?
Oh, God. So they ran into a problem now. So they've made the Lost Levels. This is effectively, it releases in Japan. It does sell in Japan, but the response is, do not release this globally. You will kill the thing.
Right. Yeah.
But we are now over a year past release. And this isn't the modern era where people will wait 7 years for a sequel. You know, what are we at for Fallout now, Tom? Between Fallout 4?
Well, it depends on if you're counting from 4 or 76.
I'm not
it's 76. Like a decade now. It is a long time.
Yeah, but this is an era where sequels come out in a year. 2 at most, and we're pushing towards 2. So we have an issue. Super Mario needs a sequel, and they don't have time to build one from scratch. They were working on one that's going to become, maybe good new mechanics. We're going to expand out gameplay. Super Mario 3 is what that one becomes. So for 2, they had to fill in quickly, and they found something, which is I still can't believe they did this. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't know they did this till pretty recently.
Oh, this is great. This is one of those things I revealed to you. And you're like, no. And I was like, no, this is absolutely
I learned this less than a week ago, went and read it and went, this is horrifying. They had another game. It, by the way, was already out in Japan. Yes. This game had released. Right. People were buying it and playing it, called Yumi Kojo Doki Doki Panic. And they decided they just took it and went, flip the characters. Make this a Super Mario game. The level of laziness that happened between the Lost levels and this, and them just going, I don't care, take that and flip it over. First they went, make it again, but make it harder. And the second one, they went, grab that thing and change the skins.
Yeah. And so Doki Doki Panic was like Arabic in theme.
Yeah, it was set in the Middle East. And by the way, the whole plot, they make a Mario fever dream.
Right. And so the original had some of those qualities of it being like a storybook that they were telling. And there's a character, Imogen, I think is how you pronounce his name. And then there's Mama and Papa and another one. They swap them out for, Mario and Luigi and Princess and Toad. And Papa was the strong one. And so that became Toad because he was fast and strong and picked things up faster. But here, I've got sneak attack facts. I have a breakdown of all the differences between Super Mario Bros. 2 and Doki Doki Panic. And I'm going to get through this list as quick as I can because there's a bunch of fun little details here. So there are a variety of different level design changes and things on the map, but I'm not going to go over all those. There's too many. But the other little things are things like animated objects were different. So in Mario, you have things like swinging cherries and blowing grass and leaves on vines that swing and blow around. That wasn't in the original. They upgraded those.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. They also upgraded the POW blocks because in Mario 2, the word POW rotates on the screen. It rotates up, right? The original just said POW. It didn't move. The Shy Guys wiggled more slowly in Doki Doki Panic. Waterfalls and quicksand animates faster in Mario 2. Waves didn't animate, and the clouds also animate a little bit in Mario 2, but they didn't originally. So those are some little changes. The red little grass that you see where you can pull up turnips or whatever they are, those were black originally. I don't know if they were meant to blend in with the background. I don't know. Hitboxes were a little bit different. So Lena is the fourth character that I briefly forgot the name of until I looked at my notes right here. Lena is swapped out for Peach, but Lena can run under the cherries without picking them up, whereas Peach's head hits them. Even though Lena's clips through it, there's just no hitbox there. So that's weird. Luigi is swapped out from the Mama character, and Luigi actually jumps a little bit higher than Mama does.
Yeah. We'll talk about it later, but Luigi is arguably the best character.
So I think that's funny that you say that. I noticed that in the notes when you wrote this because I'm pretty sure that's the least popular opinion about which is the best character. Generally,
every friend I have, everyone I know who's beaten the game,
Luigi best.
Everyone I know who's beaten the game has said you beat it with Luigi. That is the universal opinion amongst my friends. Now again, I don't have highly competitive gamer friends, but that's universal. Has always been Luigi is the one to beat the game with.
He's the one because he jumps higher and he floats around.
Yeah, when I beat the game, I beat the game with Luigi because it's the hardest parts of the game are that stuff. Being able to pick things up, no one cares. It's the jumping is what gets you.
Yeah. Well, Princess can just float over some of the big gaps, but we'll talk about more of that later. The 1-up mushrooms weren't mushrooms. So, sometimes you pull up a mushroom and there's no mushroom there because that would have been a Mario thing. They were characters' faces. So if you were playing as Papa, you would pull up a Papa face out of the ground. I don't know. In the subspace world, so when you drop one of those potions and it opens up a magic door, you go into it in Mario 2. It's weird, and it plays the Mario 1 music. But in the original, in Doki Doki Panic, that music isn't there. And the potions weren't potions, they were magic lamps because it was Middle Eastern.
Arabia, this might be Arabia. Right. That makes sense.
Right. So that makes sense. Super mushrooms that you can find in places were shaped as heart containers, so they look more like something from Zelda, which is weird. Also, you can pull up red Koopa shells out of the ground.
Yeah.
Well, they don't look like red Koopa shells. I put a picture in here for you, John. They look like these.
Oh no.
Racially problematic faces.
It's just. I'll describe it this way. They look like the crows from the original Dumbo.
Yes.
That's how I will describe this.
It was a different time. It was. I don't even know why that would have been a design choice, but that's what it is. And you can't ride on them. They don't slide around.
Yep.
Also, one of the weirdest things is there's no running. Doki Doki Panic doesn't have a run button. You just move at a constant rate.
Yeah.
That's like a Mario thing, I guess. So they added it in.
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, the ninjas jump.
They just had caps lock on.
I guess. Just automatically has the button already placed where I don't know. The ninjas also don't jump with their arms up, and they have 3 different jump heights instead of 2, which is weird. Also, this was only on the Famicom disk system. So some people may not know this.
Yeah.
The cartridge system we got in the US was a secondary version of the Nintendo system. Originally, it was a disc system. Well, actually, maybe I'm getting this wrong. That was the original one, and then they expanded the discs, the actual tech on the cartridges in order to fit bigger games eventually. So that's the version we got. But there was this in-between version called the disc system, which was slower to load, but you could save the game, which means that you could load up any character and go back to any world you'd already completed and play through with a different character through a save file. So that was totally different. Bombs only said BOM instead of BOMB. The hawk faces at the end of the levels were just generic masks.
I hate those things.
Yeah. Phantos, when you pick up a key inside one of those little places you go underground, those in 2 would chase you, but in the original, they didn't chase you until you left that room, and then they would chase you. Plus, because of that, in Super Mario 3, if you went back in, you'd spawn a second one, you'd have 2 of them chase you at the same time. Yeah, pretty weird. And they also look differently. Originally, they were just these like plain looking masks with like holes for eyes and a little slit for a mouth. But in Mario 2, they made them more creepy looking, and they've got these like sinister smiles.
Yeah. Yeah. So in other words, the game was upgraded to a point. I mean, the comment that I made on this was they basically took a Honda Civic and then put a bunch of Mercedes badges on it, because the game, Doki Doki Panic, was not a great game. It was a good game, but it wasn't a great game. And they took it.
It's like they got this extra layer of polish by incorporating Mario type things into it.
It wasn't a dead rip. They did upgrade it, but it was. But at its core, it's just not a Super Mario game.
Right.
It's just not. And
it's like a game that was inspired by Super Mario, went in a very different direction, and then got pulled back.
Yeah.
Weird.
So let's get into going back into it. And so this one's going to be fun for me, because last week when we talked about Super Mario Brothers, I said, hey, I respect this game. I understand how important it is, but I don't really like it very much. I don't feel that this week. I don't really like Super Mario 2. But I from a different place, though. This one's different. I owned, obviously, Nintendo as a child, I owned all these games. I really disliked Super Mario 2 as a kid because I couldn't figure out what it was. It always threw me off because it's not Super Mario. I didn't like this game in the 80s, by the way. I didn't like this game in the 90s. I didn't like this game in the zeros. I did not like this game. I have played this game a number of times. Yeah, a number of times, by the way. And I have every time I've gone back and played it going, yep, still don't like it. Just every single time. Because it's not a Super Mario game. And I think, to me, I might have liked it as Doki Doki because it would have been a different game. But
your expectations would have been different.
Yes. Yeah. The expectations kill me on this game. That is why when tonight I talk badly about it, you're going to hear me. I'm going to talk very highly about the gameplay, but I just still do not like the game because I just can't get over it's not Super Mario and I'm there to play Super Mario.
Right.
It's just that simple,
Yeah. So I had the same
it's like
confusion.
Making a savory Oreo cookie. You can make the best ham and cheese Oreo ever made, but you're calling it an Oreo. I don't want a damn Oreo.
Right. Yeah, I was equally confused when it came out, and I had the same initial reaction. I think I played it enough to the point where I got past that. Because I realized that there is a lot that this game is actually good at, and it was a challenge, and I enjoyed that. And there's just the things that original Mario did that we talked about last week, about how it set up this idea of going into a secret room and changing the direction through the level you're going through, and not just finding like, oh, this special item gives you more points or something, but like there being real secrets in the world. That's one of the things that this game did like really well, was it incorporated those types of secrets into just having to make your way through the levels. And it incorporated a lot, like it took a lot of the refined movement out of the first one and expanded on it in interesting ways. And I could go into all the details here, but it did a lot of good. So let's talk about
the good. Let's talk about the good, because there is good. And I'll start off with the biggest good. You actually hinted on it really well earlier. You talked about it earlier. The visuals are great. This game looks great, even today. So like I said before, I have an NES Classic. So when I play these games, I throw it on the NES Classic. I'm not emulating. I'm playing it on basically a Nintendo. The colors look amazing. It is a beautiful game. The way that they designed the levels, it is a humongous improvement over Super Mario Brothers. And
It's fluid. The motion is very fluid. The
Everything
animations
is
are
there.
very good.
yeah, and the levels, the enemies are varied. The levels are varied. I felt the original game of Super Mario Bros. Gets stale at a certain point. This one is not. It's actually the inverse. It becomes incredibly varied. Its variability is maybe its best feature. The game is complex. You have so many enemy types: flying, walking, shooting, crabs, spitting dudes.
And they each have different mechanics. You know, like the idea that you pull the bird off the flying carpet and now you can fly around on his carpet. You know, like that kind of stuff.
It is. I mean, you get this game's pretty. I mean, they really went pretty far with it. The levels are crazy too. Like you mentioned earlier, you have to grab a key and run away from a mask and jump away from it. You have
or find the secret room or the secret door in order to get to the end of the level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They did have ice levels though, which I always hate ice levels because it's just like, oh, I'm gonna fall.
The second world is a desert, just like in a Mario game. But yeah, the ice levels are always weird.
They're always hard. Like, oh, you're gonna fall. Yeah. The dark, like the inverted dark levels that's unique. I mean, extremely unique. You really do get a lot of great stuff. And even like the mechanics of it, you know, the picking stuff up. Hell, we actually hit it. We talked about the Luigi thing. All right. Let's talk about that right now. They give you 4 characters and they actually all have different skill sets, which this is unique, obviously, to Mario because it's not a Mario game.
This is 1988.
Yeah, the idea that they each had little bits of difference, and it's noticeable. I mean, we get this again in F-Zero, which is a lot of years. But
or Street Fighter, this character works differently than the others in a very big different way in that game. But this feels like the origins of it, because you go back to other games of this time period, like Double Dragon. It's like both brothers are the same.
They're identical.
They're just different colors.
Oh yeah, you know? Almost every game I can think of this era, they were identical. And this is the first time where there is a strategy. If you want to play as Toad, you have to play the levels differently. Right. Mario, Luigi, Princess. And it is funny because, like I said, I've beat it as Luigi. Everyone I know who's beat it as Luigi. So apparently we're all nuts. I don't know. But
I don't know. Maybe it's just the speedrunners, because Toad picks things up faster and runs faster. So he gets to the ends of the levels faster. Plus you can charge jump, so you can still get up on things that Luigi would normally jump on.
I don't care about speedrunners. The thing about speedrunners is, and look, if you're a speedrunner, good for you. I don't have an issue with you. But the truth of the matter is, to be a speedrunner, you have to practice a lot. That's what a speedrunner is, right? I'm more talking about a casual person going back and playing the game. I'm saying it to our listeners: if you want to play this game, I would recommend using Luigi. And the reason why is because he's much more forgiving. The jumps are going to be a lot easier. Yeah. You're right.
He does his momentum carries further, though. Sometimes he's harder to slow down when he runs. So there's a trade-off.
Yeah. But it's more, the reason I think Luigi's the best is, as someone who's not speedrunning and doesn't have the levels memorized, the whole thing about it is, if you take your time, the biggest problem in Super Mario always is jumping. That is your number one problem. Yeah. Luigi does it really well.
And to your credit on this one, this game has not just scrolling left to right, but scrolling up and down. The first time in a Mario game, if we're going to consider it a Mario game. And right off the first level, you fall down and have to get in a door. And then many other levels, you have to go up and then you have to come back down. So the ability to jump up something becomes even more valuable than just getting across a level. Yeah. So I get your point. It makes sense.
And so it is funny that, by the way, they do this, and no other Super Mario game ever does this. Like, I do laugh. Name the other Super Mario game. I mean, fine, Smash Brothers, but that's, you know what I mean? Like, what's another Super Mario game?
What else scrolls? That's a good question. I don't know. I'm racking my brain.
Well, it's Super Mario 3. Super Mario 3 does bring some of this up. Super Mario 3, you do go up and down, side to side a little bit. But I'm talking about some of this, like the different characters. The different characters.
So what's interesting, the choice of different characters is unique here. But the flip side of that is some of the qualities of those characters stick around. So Luigi being the one who can jump higher and is more slippy on the ground is something that still shows up in games. Toad being faster is still or Princess being able to float a little bit. Yeah. Like, little details like that.
Up in, I guess you're right. It shows back up in Mario Kart.
In Mario Kart, but also in other platformers. Yeah, but in those, it's different. Like, I don't know. There are differences. It just depends on the game you play. But yeah.
And again, it's just what it's like. I give them credit. The game is good. The game is, all those bits are good. It's, the gameplay's there. All that stuff's there. Mm-hmm. but
Yeah. Here's some other things I like. I also like, I mentioned the exploration thing. It has a lot more exploration than the first one, which is one of the best qualities of the first one. Also the charge jumps, which I meant, that's brand new here.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know if other
huge.
games did it, but this is the first Mario game where you can have a charge jump, and that shows up in later Mario games. In between levels where there's a slot machine that gives you extra lives.
That's always fun. Yeah, it's a fun little like.
It's always fun.
Yeah, and you give me any sort of in-game game, I always play it.
Yeah, that stuff's
not.
great.
Gwent.
Sure. And then, Gwent.
Oh, Gwent.
yeah. Or the card games and Final Fantasy games.
Oh, yeah, forever.
The
Oh,
Witcher. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the Gwent is the Witcher one, but then it was a separate card game on its own.
There's another one, yeah.
But then also catching and throwing items, even just, well, not only just picking things up and throwing them, but you fight against the boss enemies and they toss bombs, and then you don't have to go pick them up. You can actually just catch them from underneath. You just jump up and grab them and then go throw them back.
Yeah, I'm going to rage on the boss fights. I hated the boss fights.
I think, so I have a hard time. We're going to move into the bad stuff here. I have this is one of those games I played so much as a kid that it's even today, even though I haven't gone back and really played it in decades, it is still so hard for me to see this through new eyes. And on top of it, I remember the mechanics for like making sure the bombs go off and hit the dumb mouse guy. Or
it's not the mechanics; it's just the stupidity of it all. That's the bad. That's what I'm going to do. Like, because that's like the number one thing.
Explain that to me.
What the hell is this game?
Yeah.
That is
you talk about
the number one thing of Super Mario 2 is you have children. I have a child. Let's take them, have them play Super Mario Brothers. And then give them Super Mario 2 and just watch their face and wait, see how many levels they would get to before they go, Dad, what the hell is this? Like,
right.
that's the number. Like, what the hell is this? Like, you said I was playing Super Mario Brothers. I see Mario on the screen. And that's the extent of this being Super Mario Brothers. That's the biggest one. There's cherries. Where did those come from?
Right. Why not coins?
These enemies, why are all the enemies wearing masks? Like eyes wide shut masks, by the way. It's a little bit weird. All right.
Maybe that's what's going on.
Which actually came out after this, by the way. That's a side note. One dude spits bullets at me. The other one makes eggs and spits them at me, but I can also ride the eggs.
Yeah.
Not sure what's going on there. If I hold down, I become invincible. What are these demon masks that are able to go through the levels and chase me through the Immaterium and chase me into new areas? These are all questions 8-year-old John was trying to figure out. Like, what is happening here? Super Mario Brothers, the original, is a weird, almost nightmare zone.
Here's
Super
a question
Mario 2
for
is
you.
a whole different nightmare zone.
Here's a question for you, because most of the time you really like when games get weird. But is it just the expectation that throws you off on this one?
The truth is, I would have, if this was Doki Doki Panic, I would have played it. I'm like, this game's awesome.
It would have been like, it's super weird and wacky.
Did you guys not play this? You should have played it. It's awesome. But because of Super Mario Bros., I'm just like, what is happening here? Because there's no turtles. There's no Goombas.
But there's turtle shells you pull out of the ground, which also doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. Because they just shoved that one in there. Oh, also had a mushroom. I don't know. Good enough. Another knock is, this game's hard. That's the other one. So
this is another place where we're a little bit different. Like, this game isn't super easy, but yeah, that was part of why I mentioned that before, is that I think I played it so much that you put a controller in my hands again and my hands just play it.
Yeah. Again, a lot of my friends play video games. We talk about this is the one we all agree. Mario 2 is the hardest one. Like Super Mario,
maybe it is.
Three's actually 3 in world, arguably, or some people think one of those two is your easiest, and the other one's the second easiest.
I feel like you get more lives in those games. I think that's part of it too.
Yeah, those are definitely the easiest, and then the 2's the hardest. It is.
Yeah. You might be right, and I may not be objective about this.
A lot of it's the boss fights, though. I mean, you think about it, most of the boss fights are jump on them 3 times. That tends to be like
we'll throw a thing at them 3 times.
Well, no, but I'm saying, in all other Marios, it's jump on them 3 times. That is always that's a staple of Mario video games. In this one, you have to pick up a stool, basically, so it's like WWF style, and hit them with it, and you have to throw it at them, and the stools are hidden below them, like the Hydra, the flame spitting Hydra, the flame guy. These bosses are like, it gets a little punishing, and it's not. I get you had it memorized, but it is.
Yeah, I may not be objective about this, and this is what's so tricky about this show, is that I feel like if if you're too familiar with these old games, then it's not really an objective take.
Yeah.
But if you're also playing them for the first time 40 years later, we're so removed from the context that the games were released in and expectations based on other games that it's hard to give it a fair shot in that same sort of way.
We're always kind of stuck in the middle. And so for me, I kind of come into this. The nice thing, I have a good memory of playing this as a child. And that's where I'm going a lot more back to. But even going back and playing, because what I did was, the nice thing, I am playing these in order. So we played Super Mario Brothers last week. Yeah. And I just went and played Super Mario 2. And I got into it. I'm like, what is this?
What even
like,
is
I'm playing, like, what is this? Like, it's, you're going through, like, and this is what I'm saying. It's not, when I say bad, this isn't missed. Or like, hey, if this game was never made, the world's a better place. This is just like, man, what am I doing? This game feels off to me. And it's just that. It's because it is a Mercedes badged Honda Civic. And when you're playing it, if you just gave me the Honda Civic, I'd love driving it around. It's a fun car to drive. It's doing all the pieces. But because of the badging, I'm now looking at it wrong. And it's
you bring up an interesting point, because it wouldn't stand out as much if it didn't all of a sudden have those other things kind of shoehorned in. This happens even in game development today, where like a game design project, we'll say they're 2 or 3 years into the game development and they're like, this sucks, we need to do something to fix it. So they try to shoehorn other stuff in to put a Band-Aid on it, but you can always tell
how many
it never quite feels right.
How many terrible MMO games came out when World of Warcraft was
off? And for the next 20 years.
Terrible games. And they were like, this game, and you're like, this was definitely meant to be a first-person RPG that would have been great. And some studio exec said, no, make it an MMO. And like, this game sucks.
Right.
This
and
is
so the retrofitting
unenjoyable.
is obvious, and it kind of just never quite feels right. Yeah. So this has kind of some of that. I can see that.
And that's my issue, because the levels are hard, but I could see them being good in a different setting. And then the biggest piece is, I mean, the plot is hilarious. It's Mario having a fever dream, which is like, so it's like whatever that, what was this? There was a sitcom in the 80s where the whole thing turned out to be, it was a neurodivergent child's dream. That was the entire, it was a sitcom, sorry, it was a soap opera. It was an entire soap opera.
Soap opera? There was a sitcom too, like Bob Newhart. Bob Newhart ended up as a dream at the end.
Sitcom, but there was a soap opera that was like, 7 or 8 years, and it was a neurodivergent, I'm using that term because they used a different term because it was the 80s, child, and it was his dream, was the whole thing. And people were like, what? But that's actually what this is. Mario wakes up at the end of it going, well, that was weird. And you're like, so this isn't even real?
Mario 3, we'll get into it next time, is a play. It takes place on a stage. It's also not
Mario
real, but in a different way.
But Mario 3 is awesome. Oh,
yeah. All right, cool.
Spoiler, guys. I love Mario 3. Mario 3 is one of, it's going to be tough. Mario 3, Super Mario World are going to be really tough for me to decide.
They're different in very specific ways.
Which one I like more, because I really, those are two, I love those games. But anyway.
Yeah, I still liked, I'm not objective about this.
Yeah.
I got to the point where I did enjoy this a lot. Probably to the point where I played it so much that we're going to get to might as well move to the conclusion here before we move on to the questions and things. But is it fun? Yes. Am I going to keep playing it? I've played this game so much as a kid. I'm not going to find anything in there and be like, wow, I'm glad I put another 20 hours into this. Yeah.
Have your kids played it?
That's a good question. I don't think my son's played it. I think my daughter is probably trying.
For next cast, ask them. I'd be interested to get some of their takes, because I just want them to be kind of like, huh? Because I asked my wife and I asked my neighbors about this. And it was a diverse reaction, because I made a comment to them like, oh, I don't like Super Mario 2. And my neighbors were like, both of them were like, I love that game. This game's awesome. And my wife was with me like, that game was weird. That game was really weird. And it is. I will say, Super Mario 2 is divisive. And so as we get to the conclusion, that's probably one of the better conclusions we're going to get to. This is a divisive game. No one says it sucks. And I do not think this game sucks. It's just a matter of, does its weirdness become something that you're like, hey, I like this and I want to dial into? Right. Or does this weirdness become something where you're like, I can't. I think
you're right. I think our expectations play such a big role in our perceptions of reality and the way we enjoy things. And this is why marketing budgets for movies are so important. Or why game developers, when things get leaked, they get so upset, is that they're not able to control the narrative and control the messaging, which sets expectations, which from their perspective, not only helps them sell more things, but also hopefully makes people enjoy what they're making.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's just, so some of these games, this is one of those ones where it's kind of, I like it because it's more of the fun divisive, where it's like, there's some games we do where it's like people are like, this is divisive. Like, this one's more like, meh, some people like it, some people don't. But everyone, again, I played it. I got to like level 5, maybe. I forget where I gave up on this. And I was like, that's enough for John.
Yeah. Or like Zelda 2 is more divisive in they like, this Zelda sucks now because this was bad.
Yeah, so Zelda 2, but again, funny thing on Zelda 2, I like Zelda 2. Of course,
we discovered
it's the side scroll. I like side scroll though.
Right.
Anyway, so conclusion, I think.
Yeah, what's your conclusion?
My conclusion is I don't care for the game, but I think everyone should play it. That's kind of it's a weird thing because it is a well-made game. There's no flaws in the game. It's not buggy. There's no big issues with it. I just am kind of like, if you really like Super Mario, you may or may not like this one, but there's a reason it's the 4th highest selling game of all time for Nintendo. I'm not going to go in and tell them that that's a mistake.
And also, if you just are coming into it with a different set of expectations of it just being a weird, different type of game, and it just happens to have a Mario in it, then maybe you would enjoy it because again, it's not a poorly made game. It's just a little bit weird, and a little bit oddly created.
Yeah, it's not missed.
Yeah.
It's not missed.
It's not missed. Speaking of this, we've got some comments. People are we're in this episode a little bit later than we normally do. That episode just went up because we bank a few episodes ahead of time, but people are responding to our strong feelings about Myst. So we're going to get to the comments in a minute. We're going to take a quick break, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and Talkspace, the leading virtual therapy provider, is sharing the message that connection is crucial because good relationships are an essential and sometimes overlooked component of mental well-being. If your relationships could use some strengthening, a licensed therapist from Talkspace can help. Therapy can help you communicate better with loved ones, repair conflicts, and understand how to address loneliness and build community. It's easy to sign up. Just go to Talkspace.com and you'll be paired with a therapist within 2 days. You'll meet with your therapist online on your schedule. Plus, Talkspace is in-network with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. Make personal connections a priority and start today. If you're not covered by insurance, get $80 off your first month with Talkspace when you go to Talkspace.com and enter promo code SPACE80. That's SPACE80. To match with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com and enter promo code SPACE80.
All right, we're back. And before we get to the comments, if you enjoy our conversations, if you enjoy our voices, go check out our other shows. John does the 40K Lorecast and the History of 40K. I do the Fallout Lorecast, the Elder Scrolls Lorecast, and the Lord of the Rings Lorecast. So if you're looking for more information about those worlds, we do what I think are very enjoyable shows, so come join us. But here, let's get into some comments. This first one comes from Follower of the Apocalypse on our Discord, on the Robots Radio Discord. Yeah. And Follower listens to a bunch of shows and posts a bunch of things. Follower says about the Primal Rage episode, that one moment Tom said Primal Rage was made by some dudes in their 20s, probably autistic ones. I was like, hey, that's unfair. Oh, wait, he's probably right. I and my fellow autistic peeps like to discuss etymology and Enochian language, also just weird stuff in general. So yeah, Tom's got a point. Autistic peeps can just talk about weird stuff without batting an eye. Yeah. And we're all on the same page there.
That
offense was meant by that comment.
Oh yeah, no, because honestly, that call, everyone was like, yeah, like this is a show for the neurodivergent. Let's call it what it is.
We do Lorecast. We know.
I'm aware of what I am and who I hang out with. Yeah,
absolutely. Anyway, yeah. Absolutely. Glad you're enjoying the show, Follower. This one comes from Segoth for the Primal Rage episode, who says, so the game is like Rampage on crack?
Yeah, so it's a funny story. One of the the 40K Lorecast Discord, we had someone came in and was like, hey, we're talking about Rampage. I'm like, no, Rampage is a different game that we should cover at some point.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it kind of is. This is someone who played Rampage and went, what if Rampage was cooler?
Was a fighter instead of bash a bunch of buildings.
Yeah. What if regular Rampage? Let's take it up a notch. And they did.
Yep. Yeah, they did. We've got Finn who says, these are all on Spotify, by the way. So if you're listening on Spotify, comment on there. We'll check out your messages. Finn for the Doom episode says, Super Mario Sunshine for GameCube or yet another RTS Age of Mythology from 2002.
Oh, Super Mario Sunshine. Well, I'd rather not, if I'm being honest. I'm just going to be candid. But the Age of Mythology is very good. Age of Mythology I like a lot. I did own that game and played the hell out of it. It's funny, when Tom and I first talked about this show, our goal was to kind of stay between like 1986 and like 1996. And we're getting pushed by a lot of people to be like,
yeah, we did discuss going up to like 2005 maybe. Yeah.
We're getting, and we're going to. I think we're going to have to push into some of that era because
we'll get there eventually.
We can't not. Yep.
Yeah, those are, people like those games. I didn't play Age of Mythology as much as I played Age of Empires.
Yeah.
So I kind of missed out on that one. And I don't think I've ever really played Mario Sunshine. I didn't have a GameCube until I picked up a Wii and then bought old GameCube games to try to experience, but I never picked up Sunshine.
I had a friend who had one, and he was like, check this game out. And I went, this sucks. And then moved on my day.
Okay. All right. And Finn has multiple messages here. Here's another one from Finn from the Lemmings episode. Finn says, you should ask Brad if he wants to come on the show.
Oh, I'll bring Brad on at some point. There's quite a few games. Brad's got some, especially in the late 90s stuff. There's some stuff he's very into. So yeah.
I'm sure he's got opinions on that stuff. Finn on the Primal Rage episode says, I think it would be cool to do an episode on Super Mario Sunshine and one on a bunch of the first NES games like Ice Hockey, Pinball, Excitebike, and Mario Brothers and Zelda. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Excitebike.
You didn't like Excitebike?
Well, no, I did. It's just like, how long can we talk about Excitebike? It's more like it's a 6-minute episode.
Maybe we do an episode for like the pre-Mario Super Mario Brothers games that are all much more simple and just kind of cover a group of them at some point in the future.
Yeah.
We'll consider it. And then Finn also says, again, Super Mario Sunshine review.
He really wants a Super Mario Sunshine review.
Super into Sunshine. And to what level does John hate SimCity? And to what level does Tom love SimCity? And it's about time you do a game from the 2000s. You should do Sunshine. Consistent.
So, fun story. I think, Tom, you do like SimCity a lot, don't you?
I do like SimCity a lot. I played from the very first one when I had a PC that could only play in black and white to get it to run. And I was super into SimCity, yeah.
There is not a sim anything that I've enjoyed.
Really? None of them? Wow.
None of them. I never liked it. I don't know. I love Civilization. There's something, I don't know what it is, but something about it just doesn't click for me.
Civilization feels more like you're telling a story about your civilization and you're expanding and conquering. SimCity feels more like mechanical based.
I think it's the invasion thing. I think it's
there's something fun about like,
I want to go conquer. I think it's more that. And whereas SimCity is like, I built a roller coaster. I did the early SimCities, I built it up and I'd summon Godzilla to kill it. It was kind of fun.
Yeah, I would get to that point as well. Yeah. Absolutely. Because at some point you're like, okay, well, I know how to do this. Let's just break everything. Yeah. Sure. Brian says on the Myst episode, we're now getting to the Myst episodes. Yeah. Love the episodes. Keep it up, guys. Just try not to make me feel too old if you go into games like the original Spyro or Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot's awesome. So first off, we will 100% do Crash Bandicoot. Spyro, I got to remember, I think it was a dragon thing.
Spyro the Dragon. There were like three main ones that were well regarded.
Crash Bandicoot, I liked a lot. I remember Crash Bandicoot. It's got a bit of an Earthworm Jim feel to it, where that's why. So obviously, I like that game a lot. Yep. Yeah,
I missed out on that series of like PS1 games because I didn't have a PS1 until later. And then they also felt, because I was like late teens, early 20s by that period of my life, and they felt too little kiddie for me. So I just kind of bounced off them real quick. Spyro is probably my wife's favorite game ever.
Really?
Yes, we even got the remastered version and she played through it with my son and just loved it to death.
Really?
She just loves that game. So I can talk to it from that perspective, and I know the game, but it's not really for me. But that's fine. That's totally fine. Teddy says, on a serious note, though, also in the Myst episode, please play Battlespire. I have played Battlespire.
Yeah, that's a U game, isn't it?
That game is long in the tooth for an Elder Scrolls game, but it does set a lot of the standards for the series from that point on, not just in gameplay and design, but also that would have been 98, I think, 97, 98. But also...
97? Jesus. Ouch.
Yeah, Battlespire set most of the lore. The foundations for Elder Scrolls lore started at Battlespire, not in Arena, the first Elder Scrolls game. That one was like a generic D&D ripoff. But by Battlespire, they actually started to get weird and interesting.
So I'm just looking at... I'm not aware of Battlespire, and I'm looking at...
Elder Scrolls 2 Battlespire.
I'm looking at gameplay pictures, and I'm going, this is nice.
And there's a remaster version, an unofficial remaster done in Unity that you can load up if you have an official copy on like Steam, which you can get super cheap. So you can load it up on a modern PC and play it still, which I've done some of. But
Nice.
it is difficult getting out. It would be interesting, John, to see you try to just get out of the first dungeon.
Oh, it's one of those
because
games?
it is not easy.
Oh,
It's
okay.
one of those games.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
It's rough, but you could cheat it. I mean, you could cheat it.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'll always do, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're on for the missed episode says, boy, John, tell us how you really feel.
Yeah. Do not care for the game, guys. Do not care for it.
Yeah. There's a reason why we titled it Mist Sucks 4 times over. That's just the title of the episode.
It's one of those games. It's funny because, I mean, it was, like we said, one of the most popular games in the world for a couple years. And you go back and look at it and go, what the hell was wrong with all of us? Much like when I talk about some of the music where you're like, guess what was a big hit? And you're like, ABBA? Really?
ABBA?
Really?
People still like ABBA, but yeah.
I'm being mean to ABBA.
It's not
actually.
for you or
To
I,
be honest,
sure.
ABBA's fine. There's worse ones. There's stuff like Crisscross.
Yeah.
Let's call it out. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. They're
Like,
going to make you want to jump. Sure.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel that one. All right. So,
I'll bleep it. Go for it.
says the music references are incredible. Bad Religion and Sepultura. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm writing notes. I'm putting my music in. This is what I do. Believe me, it is funny because the cool thing about doing a show like this is, especially when we get into the 90s, you are getting that first bit where the ability to self-produce music starts becoming actually affordable. The ability for a musician to press their own records, that started more in the 80s.
Right.
But
to hire somebody to record for them.
Yeah.
Heck, I was part of that. By the late 90s, my bands I was traveling up to Atlanta and hiring a producer to record demos and albums for
and
us.
the ability to, especially we're talking it's just a world I happen to know pretty well. In the end of the late 80s into the early 90s, the ability to make a cassette tape really starts to change music, because it allows you to make a demo tape very inexpensively and hand it to people and say, hey, check this out, which opens up the ability for a lot of bands to get noticed and found and turned around. But also there's some fun, we'll talk about some, maybe on a different episode or a different time. There's some
Maybe we should do like a one-off music episode.
We could, about something, because there is some really cool things. It's a very fun era. The 80s aren't, because the mid 80s, it's not there yet, but especially we get into the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and into the PlayStations. But that's that era, that chunk of like 92 to like 96, 97. Mm-hmm. You
PCs
get
and Pro Tools and being able to record things in your own studio.
Pro Tools, good, distortion pedals, a lot. Right. You get to do all this stuff. There's just so much gets to happen.
8-track and 16-track recorders.
But also MTV is big at this point, which people have their opinions on it, but it was a way to get stuff out there. There was more. So anyway.
Right. Well, there you go. Thank you for all the questions. You guys are great with the question. We guys love all the questions.
Yeah.
So thank you. Comment on those. And you know what? I'm going to have to log into your Discord, the 40K Discord, because people are commenting on there. So I'll hunt for some of those questions for future episodes as well. But definitely leave us a question. Join us on the Robots Radio Discord. Post some questions in there. There's a channel. You can check out all the other different channels for all the different shows on the network. And heck, you can go to robotsradio.net, check out the other shows, or sign up. We just had another new podcaster signing up. He's doing a One Piece Lorecast, and he'll be launching that in probably a few weeks. And I've been going through, working out, giving him instructions on how to record and get that stuff going. So it's awesome. It's so fun to have new creators excited about creating new stuff. So come join us. And any last words, John?
Yeah, so
talking about Mario 3.
Yeah, next week we're doing Super Mario 3, which is a remarkably good game. I will say they did take some lessons at Super Mario 2 as far as level diversity, really kind of expanding out, not letting it feel stale. It is a game I really do enjoy quite a lot. It's a very, 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 very fun game.
Back to traditional Mario.
Yeah, you mean coins and mushrooms and the things they're supposed to be. Although there's a lot of, what the hell is that flying raccoon?
Yes.
Why can the raccoon fly?
What is a tanuki?
We're going to talk about this next week. Some of the things you find in the game, you're like, what is this outfit? Why? Why? And there's
Frog
nothing
suit.
worse. There's nothing worse than when you get the frog outfit and you're like, and there's no.
It's not a water level. Why do I?
There's
have
no
frog
water
outfit?
levels. It's like I've got like 5 frog outfits like stored up I can use, and like cool. I don't have any water levels to use this on, so I guess I'll just intentionally run into something that to just get turned into a big Mario. Anyway, but yeah, that's
Yeah. We'll get there. Join us next time. We'll see you guys next time. Have a great week. We'll see you then.
See you guys then.
Retro Recall.
Robots Radio. Games. Lore. Stories. Community. Just press play.